welcome to my channel. I know I haven't posted any videos for some time now, but today I'm coming back with one of my favorite dishes. It's a Persian dish. It's called Ghormeh Sabzi. So for this video, I decided not to use fresh herbs. I've been hearing about these dried herbs from many of my friends that it's much easier and it does taste as good. So I decided to give it a try and see if they were right. And on to the dried herbs. Here, as you can see, I have 2 cans of Sadaf brand Ghormeh Sabzi herbs. Make sure when you purchase it, it does say Ghormeh Sabzi on there because apparently they make dried herbs for other dishes as well. It has recipes and directions both in Farsi and English, but we won't be following that today. We will be following my own recipe. And here is Shambalileh. I will go ahead and search the name for you in English. I know it's looking funny, but this is really an herb. It's called Shambalileh. My lovely aunt gave me this and told me I only need to add 1 tablespoon of this to Ghormeh Sabzi. Like I said, I will go ahead and research it, find out what exactly it is and where you can purchase this and add it to the bottom of the video. Here is some sea salt. We will be using 1 tablespoon of sea salt since this is going to be a large pot. Here are some dried lemon. As you can see, we already have 4 of them soaked in water. I'm gonna go ahead and let them sit because it's, as you can see, it's very hard right now. If we let it soak, it's gonna make it easier for us to poke them with forks for later. So here are the herbs we're using today. Cumin, we're gonna need 1 teaspoon of that, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I'm gonna show you the bottle, but here it says Muchi curry on there. Ignore that. It's actually turmeric. In that bottle is that yellow powder. And I'm also using 2 fresh garlic cloves, but if you don't have that, that's fine. You can go ahead and use your garlic powder for this dish. Here's what the can should look like once you remove that plastic cap on top. It needs to be completely sealed, and make sure you're the first one who is opening this can. After you open the can, this is what you see. Bunch of dried Ghormeh Sabzi herbs here in the can. As I mentioned before, I am using 2 of them because I don't think, oh no, I just spilled. Sorry about that. It happens. So we are using 2 cans. If you spill, you better clean it. So after cleaning after myself, here I am going to add the 2nd can to the bowl and follow the directions as it has stated on the can and add some warm water to it. And voila, I've emptied 2 cans and add some lukewarm water. I'm going to go ahead and let it soak for 15 minutes. Here, as you can see, we have chopped 1 medium to large size onion. Here what the size it was, maybe it was a little smaller, I don't know. As you can see, I chopped it up and I'm going to go ahead and put it in a large pot and let it saute until it turns to golden brown. While the onion is getting prepared, I'm going to show you, here's about 1.5 pounds of red meat, stewed red meat. As you can see, we have added some green jalapenos, that's optional, and 1 clove of garlic. Here we have 2 cans of red kidney beans. As you can see, they're pretty cooked and ready to go. Well, our onions, they look like they're ready. Let's go ahead and add the meat, the garlic, and the jalapenos. As I said again, jalapenos are completely optional, so if you don't like spicy food, please refrain from adding jalapenos or any kind of spicy herbs that I use in my dishes. So go ahead and saute it together and let it sit for about 2-3 minutes so everything can get absorbed and is mixed well together. So this is what it looks like after 2 minutes. It's ready for the herbs to be added. Let's go ahead and get our herbs ready. I really wanted to show you how I added the herbs. Honestly, it's not something difficult, but I just wanted you to see, but it's really hard to record, add the herbs and mix. So I decided to show you the aftermath. Here what it should look like after you add 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Go ahead and mix them well together and let it sit on a medium heat for another 15 to 20 minutes. Now on to the herbs. Here I have about 2-3 tablespoons of olive oil ready to go on medium heat. And I'm going to show you the heat. Here's what it is. Not too high, it's medium. So, and here are the herbs. They don't look pretty. I washed them, I cleaned them, and I'm letting them soak here. Yeah, it's not pretty, but that's how it should look like. Let's take a peek at the meats before we continue with our herbs. It looks good, so cover it up and let it boil on. Now on to sauteing the herbs. So this is already soaked. This is 2 cans. As you can see, it's not that much. So I'm glad I used 2 cans of herbs instead of 1. Now I like my Ghormeh Sabzi very dark green. I don't like to see light green stuff in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and saute the herbs until they get very dark and yummy looking, and then I will add them. Now on to the lemon. Now, as you saw earlier, I had these soaked in water for some time now. It made it easier to poke them with fork. The reason behind us poking them with fork, that is because once it gets added to the dish, the taste of the lemon gets distributed evenly and makes the dish even taste better. Now it's time to add those 4 poked lemons to the meat and let it sit there for another 15 minutes. So keep on sauteing your herbs here. As you can see, they're getting a little bit dark. I want them darker. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it sit and keep on sauteing them once in a while on medium-high heat. I like them to get darker. As we let that sit, I'm gonna go ahead and add some spicy stuff to my meat. Now this is completely optional, you don't have to do this. I like my food spicy. If you don't like spicy food, then please do not add jalapenos or red crushed pepper. Here I added about half a teaspoon of this crushed red pepper. Yep, yummy. I added that, and like I said, this is completely optional, you don't have to do this. And now on to adding water to your meat. I went ahead and added 2 cups of water for now. I'm gonna go ahead and let it sit and let the meat cook on medium heat for about another half hour. I'm just gonna let it boil and cook together. Now back to the herbs. As you can see, they are getting a little darker. I don't know if you can see it very well, but they are getting darker. I like that. I went ahead and added a tablespoon of olive oil just to make sure it makes it more tasteful. So I added that, and now I'm gonna go ahead and add that weird looking herb called Shambalileh. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, my aunt gave me this and she wrote it on there. I am definitely gonna search the English name for it and put it at the bottom. So as you can see, I added only 1 tablespoon to the herb. I didn't need to soak it, I just added it in. And I'm gonna go ahead and saute them together. Don't put too much. As I hear, it's best to only use about 1 tablespoon because it makes your dish better tasting, and you don't wanna put too much on there. So here's another thing I added to my meat. I don't know if you can see it. It's tiny little saffron looking stuff. I mixed a little bit of saffron with this color flour. It's called a color flour. I have to find it and show you the label, but here what it looks like. I've put it in a little jar, so this is what it looks like. Again, I got this from a Persian market. This is the flour, but I added it with saffron, so it adds color and taste. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just this much, just a pinch to my dish, to the meat, so it makes it more tasteful. You can see it's very fine and smells really good. Since we started cooking the meat, it has been 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now it's time to add the beans. As you can see, I went ahead and added the beans. Go ahead and mix them well together and prepare to add the herbs. And here are the herbs. As you can see, they're dark, but they're not as dark as I hoped them to be. But this is the best I could do, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go ahead and mix them well together and start adding some water to the dish. If you have those measuring cups to measure water, that would be perfect right now, because here that's what I used. I used 1.5 cups of water. I added to the Ghormeh Sabzi. I put the heat on medium, and I'm gonna go ahead and let it sit for another hour. Yes, for another hour. For a good Ghormeh Sabzi, you need to give it time to cook, and the more time, the better it gets. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and let it sit for 1 hour. Like I said, this is what it should look like. And I close it, so make sure you close the top because you want it to boil. So go ahead and close it. So it has been 1 hour since last time we checked. I'm ready to add my 1 tablespoon of tomato paste to the Ghormeh Sabzi. While it's boiling, go ahead and add 1 tablespoon and mix it well before you close the cover again. Here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and add it and let it sit for another half hour. After 3 hours of hard labor and hard work in the kitchen on the stove, this is what you should have in front of you. A delicious looking dish of Ghormeh Sabzi. I have to say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of it. It was delicious and it was as good as I thought it would be. Actually better than I thought, because I didn't think that dried herbs will have the similar taste and as the fresh herbs, but it surprised me. It actually was very close. I enjoyed it. It was delicious. If you do cook it, please let me know what you think. If you do get the dried herbs, make sure it does say Ghormeh Sabzi on there. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you did make it, and give me your thoughts. Leave me comments, and if you have any questions, please leave them at the bottom of the video. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.